Hello friends, how are you? My name is Mike, channel's name is Health and Wealth. I'm talking to you about the ultimate weekly pay. There's so many different variations that you can input into each of these days, but I want to go over each of the days and how you can get paid virtually every single weekday with the new weekly funds that are out there. We're talking about high yield distribution. We're talking about risky plays here because we have experienced over the last couple of years the highs, the lows. We're currently getting towards the lows of a lot of funds out there. And when I talk about lows, share price is coming down, distributions are coming down. So this is the risk that you take by investing in these funds. I'm simply just going to go over and share some of the funds that you could get paid almost every single day. I've actually utilized Amy from Bad Financial Decisions website to kind of observe what is a possibility here. Now, I'm not currently invested in a lot of these funds. I have, a core 5 that I use as weekly input, but it's definitely a thought process to go ahead and start maybe getting a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday pair to help compound that growth, build that money. Oh, there we are. Build that money up a little bit quicker. Just an idea, and let me know what you think about it. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of share my own passive account. Well, maybe I will. Let's see if I can get that up there for us. There we go. So this is my passive account. What I'm showing you here is that over the last year, you can see the distributions I've received from investing in these funds. Down below, you can see the funds themselves. I know they're a little bit small, but you've got your MISTY, NVDY, Coney, ULTY, and HOOW sitting there. These are the YieldMax funds that I'm currently invested in, but this video is not about those necessarily. It's just about the thought process of having, a different pair every single day. I'm trying to grow this to $5,000 a month. Right now, I'm at $1,308 so far for this month. Last month, I was at $1,382. And the month before that was $1,954 in income coming in from the distributions from these ETFs. So that's the plan, right? I'm trying to get to 5,000. So I went to Amy's website, and if you haven't been to this website, it's super cool to kind of cruise around on. And if you find any value, buy Amy a coffee over here. The website is yieldmax.com. And so basically you can kind of do a whole bunch of different searches. All I kept it really simple. So yeah, you guys go explore the different things you can do over on the left-hand side there. If you're looking for specific types of filters and that sort of thing, you can go over there. All I did was stick to the main section here. And you can see by the thumbnail that I created, I just picked 5 random, maybe not so random, but 5 ETFs that kind of interested me a little bit. So the first one here is WPAY. That's the one we're talking about. Now, ignore the $1.58. We're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive, but this declaration date is on Mondays. Okay, so Mondays. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up WPAY's website here at Roundhill. And so you can see the next one's on October 20th. That's Monday, tomorrow. I'm recording this on Sunday. The X date would be then on Tuesday, and the payday would be on Wednesday. Let me just confirm that's correct here. That is correct. So payday is on Wednesday every single week, depending on holidays, right? So if you're looking to get paid every single day, this could be a good start. I know it's on Wednesday. We're going to keep going, though. And WPAY is relatively new. It hasn't been paying out for super long here. There's all of its distributions, September 15th, so it's been out for a month now. I always get a little hesitant with new funds because they like to come out with a little bit of pizzazz and flash and fireworks, and then they sometimes slow down on their payments. But yeah, you can see there's the payments so far, 86 cents this last week here. Pretty darn good. 73 cents before that. Let's take a look at the share price though of WPAY. So WPAY is currently at $52.66. Now, like I said, it's relatively new. Let's go to the beginning of time here. It's up 2.67%. If you don't know much about WPAY, what they do is they take all of the weekly pairs over at Roundhill, and they kind of amalgamated those into one here. There they all are right there with their weighting within the ETF itself. And their goal is to pay you every single week. So for this one, it pays on Wednesdays. Now, I've chosen some other ones. I'm just going through the list here, but you can see, right, what Amy has it pretty categorized here for you. It makes it easier for you to go look and take a look to see which one is better for you. You know, do you believe in Coinbase and then so COII, or do you believe in Mr. or NVDY, you know, Tesla? And then there's a weekly pay there as well. But again, those are Monday declaration days, which means they don't pay till Wednesdays. All right, the next one is the Tuesday declaration date. So these are the former weeklies. They're still weeklies. They were classified as weeklies over at YieldMax, a lot of these. And so they've got some real winners in here. They've got some risky plays in there. So I've chosen two up here just for the example that I'm showing you here. I've chosen ULTY because that's what I'm invested in. It's super risky. It hasn't been incredible because of the share price loss over the last, 3 months now. But it does pay a steady distribution between 8 cents and 10 cents weekly here. Which is pretty good. As the share price comes down, will that change? Probably. So that's why I chose ULTY, because I'm invested in that. I also chose YMAX to go over on the screen here. That is like the fund of funds over at YieldMax. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But in your wheel, you could pick whatever you want. You're the leader of your train, right? You're the leader of this Ferris wheel. You can pick anyone you want if you were to play along with the thought process or the strategy here. There's some other really exciting ones that people are now interested in, like YETH over here. LFGY has been incredible over the last 3 months now. CHPY has been phenomenal since day one over at YieldMax. Who knows, right? Past performance doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. And then you got your big three right here: RDTY, QDTY, and SDTY. But this Tuesday has a lot of bangers in it, a lot of really, really good fun. So let's just clarify what happens here. So they declare their distributions on Tuesdays. Wednesday would be the X distribution date, and then Thursday would be the pay date. So far you've got WPAY paying you on Wednesday. Then you would have one of these paying you on Thursday. Let's take a look at two of them right now. So we have ULTY here. You can see ULTY over the last month has had a pretty steady decline, down 9%. And over the last 6 months here, it did go up quite a bit there from April. But then it's steadily come down here. So it's on discount right now, $5.15. And then ULTY pays every week, just like every other one we're talking about right here. You can see the history of the distributions. I also make ULTY videos if you want to take a look at those. Feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, take a look at those at your own leisure down the road here. But it's been pretty consistent in its payouts since around March 12th, which has been pretty good. There's a high of 12 cents in there for one of the weeks, but I think the low in the weeklies was 8 cents, and I have a sneaky suspicion that it might get there again if the share price goes down anymore. So that's one of the options. The other one is YMAX here. YMAX over the last 6 months actually up 9 cents, which is pretty good. I love a fund that's very consistent in share price. It doesn't go down. That's what I like. And then it also pays out a distribution. I'm on YieldMax's website right. Let's take a look. $986 million of people's money in this fund. It does have a fairly high expense ratio. But then there's the distribution sitting right here beside my mouse. I know it's a little small, but 17 cents, 15, 14, 8 was a low, 13, 11. So you got between 8 and 17 cents there over the last 2.5 months there. So you can kind of have an idea of what you're going to get paid with YMAX. So that's like the fund of fun. They have all of the different, let's just go take a look here. All of the different YieldMax funds inside of it. As they perform, this will perform. As they get distributions, that it kind of pays into YMAX there as well. So that's the Tuesday. I'm going to go back here. That's the Tuesday declaration date team. You can see there's so many other ones, though. Which ones are you more interested in? Remember, it declares on Tuesday. Its X distribution date's Wednesday, so its payday would be Thursday. Let's move down to the next group. This is Wednesday's group now. So again, Wednesday's declaration. Thursday is the X date, and this one's going to pay on Friday. So far we have a pair on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And, I just picked NVDY in this one because I'm personally invested in it. These ones are fairly risky. They're a little more risky, I would say, because they're single stock ETFs. And so they're really banking on that underlying stock to perform well, to have high volatility, implied volatility, so that they can generate income for you. So we've noticed here some very highs with Misty as an example. Now we're noticing a lot of lows with Misty as its underlier doesn't perform very well. So we've noticed that. We noticed that with SMCY in the past. Coney's going through it. HOOW's got some extreme highs over the last couple of months, but then when Robinhood starts the tank, HOOW's going to come down as well. So these ones are a little bit more risky, but there is a ton of options here. A lot of the folks out there love the Palantir option here, PLTY. But for me, I chose NVDY on my example only because it's like the top company out there. Top 1 or 2 or 3 company out there right now. Steady growth, steady share price appreciation on the underlying stock. Even when they have bad news, it doesn't go down that much. But that's why I've chosen this one, just to kind of play it safe. Now, I've got Misty and HOOWY in this group, and Coney as well in my current account, but choosing NVDY. And by the way, I haven't clicked on details here. If you take a look at that, you could see all of the latest distributions from these funds, which is really cool. And you can find a lot more detail inside of Amy's website here. Shout out again to Amy's YouTube channel, which is called Bad Financial Decisions. But yeah, you can see a ton of detail in here, which is it's amazing. It actually is amazing and super useful. I come here and check it out all the time. So I've picked NVDY again. NVDY's share price $15.71. It's been fairly flat. It's actually gone up a little bit in the last 6 months, which is nice. Now, we're not talking about the underliers too much here. If you hadn't invested in the underliers, you'd be way ahead. But we're talking about income-producing ETFs right here. You can see over the last year, it has gone down 40% in share price. It was experiencing some highs over here. Let's go all the way back. Its all-time high was around $30, it looks like. So we're, 50% of an all-time high right now. But if we go back to April 4th till now, it's up 16% in share price. Plus, you're getting a distribution now every single week. Let's take a look at those weekly distributions here. So the last one was actually 10 cents. I think it was like 10.85. So they rounded it up to 11 here. And then before that was monthly or every 4 weeks they paid. So this is a brand new thing for this fund to make it weekly. And so there you go. There's all of its payments. So NVIDIA's got a good history of payments over the time. It's not super volatile. NVIDIA is not super volatile. So it doesn't pay a huge amount here, but I like that the share price is going up a little bit. Plus, I'm getting a distribution. I think that's really great. And I'm just going to go backwards just a little bit here. Remember, this is only hypothetical. I'm just sharing examples with you. You pick whichever one you want. You can pick none if you want, right? It's your money. But there is some exciting plays in here. There are some consistent plays in here too that could be beneficial for you. But again, let me know in the comments which one you're thinking. If you were to do this strategy, I'm interested to hear because, I'm always kind of thinking about the next move for myself here as well. Speaking of the next move, let's move on to Thursday's declaration date. So let's talk about that. So far, we got Wednesday with WPAY. We have Thursday with ULTY or YMAX. We have Friday payer with NVDY or whatever one you've chosen. And now we got a Thursday declaration date, which means it declares on Thursdays, its X dates on Fridays, and now it's going to pay on Mondays. So you get a payer on Monday. That's this whole group right here that's on the screen. Yeah, I've gone ahead and just chosen one. There's actually a few in here that are pretty interesting to me. I've chosen BLOX just as my example for this video, but I mean, Maggie's pretty exciting. People seem to like Maggie out there, the Magnificent Seven. Are they magnificent, though? Are they going to be magnificent forever? That's why I've chosen BLOX over here. I'm actually curious about some details on this one. Its last payment was 16 cents per share. You can see the share price as of the recording of this video. We can go take a look at it here in a second, but it says 25.68. Let's scroll up here. So it's 24.70, right? That's the current share price of BLOX. I'm curious a little bit more about it. Remember, it is paying on Mondays, okay? So that's kind of the interesting factor here. You could take that distribution and do whatever you want with it. So its fund's objective is Bitcoin plus Ethereum, crypto industry companies, and weekly income. I'm on BLOX website right here. What is it? nicholasx.com/BLOX. Cool. Oh, keep the mustache, ditch the fiat. Should I go with a mustache for Movember? I'm not doing it, everybody. But yeah, take a look. It's a growing fund, $145 million in this fund right now. And here's the performance coming up. Last distribution seems to be pretty standard right above my head here. 18 cents, 16, 15. I'll just name them all, 14, 13, 14, and 15. But yeah, it could be an interesting fund if you believe in, both Bitcoin and Ethereum doing well. Again, I'm personally not invested in this one, not yet anyways, but who knows, maybe down the road. I already have a lot of Bitcoin related funds with Coney, with Misty, and Bitcoin itself, but yeah, this could be a good fund. And remember, this one's going to be paying on Mondays now, which is pretty fantastic if you want to really over analyze, or not. That's not the word I want to use. If you really want to experience the wheel of distributions, right? So a different distribution each day kind of is the premise here. And then, so we'll go back to Amy's website here. We'll get rid of this, and we're going to scroll down. You can see here, there is other ones that are happening. Here's Friday's declaration now. So we're getting towards the end of the week. So Friday it declares, which means Monday would be the X distribution date, which means Tuesday would be your pay date for all of these right here. And I just picked one. I picked the HOOW because, Robinhood's on fire right now with their share price and the implied volatility. So I picked HOOW, HOOW, but you can pick whichever one you want. To be fair, none of these really, piqued my interest. I probably wouldn't invest in any of these right now. They're not really on my radar, but the premise of the video is picking one for each day of the week. But yeah, I went with HOOW. I've got it up here on the screen. Share price here is $68. You'll notice that it's gone up in the last... oh, it hasn't. Wow, that's interesting. I know the last couple of days here, it had a real slide in share price. That probably had a lot to do with it not going up over the last month. But yeah, if you take a look since it came out, I think it's relatively new. June 18th, up 29% in share price. And then it's paying out a good distribution every single week here. You can see the distributions. They're pretty massive for a weekly fund. That's for sure. And remember, this should be inside of WPAY as well, which will help WPAY's payment. But again, I just need to really kind of recheck this. So yeah, Friday is the declaration date, Monday would be the X date, and then Tuesday would be the pay date. So let's go through the whole thing again. Let's start actually over here. So Thursday, X date Friday, pay date Monday, right? So let's go with the Monday. I chose BLOX for my Monday payer. You guys choose whatever you want. I mean, Maggie's fairly interesting out there, and I know a lot of people like some of these other options out here too. And then you have your Tuesday pair. Just for the premise of the video, I chose HOOW, but there's some fun ones in here as well. And then we have our Wednesday pair going all the way back to the top here, which is going to be that first group up here. I chose WPAY. And then you have your Thursday pair. For me personally, I have ULTY in here. That's what I have in my account. And then you have your Friday pairs, and there's so many options for being paid on Friday now. but I chose NVDY just because it is slightly safer than a lot of these wildcats in here. But, you know, there's so many options that you could choose from. And for full transparency, I have a bunch of these already. I've had them for quite some time. And they're pretty entertaining to watch. That's a good way of saying that, I think. But this is kind of your weekly wheel. So what does that mean, everybody? That means you can take your distribution on Monday. You could buy the next one on its X distribution date. Continue that, right? If you buy on the X distribution date, you notice that the share price will drop the value of the distribution. So a lot of people say that you could be buying those shares on discount, right? You could be buying those shares on sale. Everyone likes to buy things that are on sale. And then you hope that the price of that fund goes up at least the amount of that distribution over the next week. And then you continue the cycle, compounding your money quicker, creating a better distribution for yourself, and hopefully seeing this graph go up every single month. That's the hope and the dream here, to get to your dream. My dream is to get to $5,000 a month in distributions, and then from there, who knows what happens, right? Who knows what happens, but by employing a strategy like this, by buying at the right time, X distribution date, by, you know, manually dripping these funds back in, by building up a good solid base, this could help you get to your goals a little bit quicker. And by the way, this is not financial advice. It's just ideas out there because I think people want to know different ideas. And it's really important that you do your own research. When you go to yieldmax.com, click on the funds here, and then go to the actual funds as well to do your own research and understand the downside risk. I'm going to highlight this one right here because that is a prime example of a hot topic right now. And I think it's really important that you do your own research before you buy anything. Know what's the worst thing that can happen before the worst thing that happens. If you enjoyed the content, I hope you hit the subscribe, I hope you hit the like, and I hope you stick around for future videos. My name is Mike. The channel's name is Health and Wealth. Have a great day. Bye for now.